light on. Whoa, that is bright. Hey everyone. Curious if you can hear me. I'm gonna turn down that light. That is a little rough. I see a person here. Let me know if you can hear me though. I want to make sure. This is only the second time well, I guess it's just me now, but it has gone live, so I want to make sure that you can hear me okay. I'm going to make sure that my volume is up. Cool. I think I have the chat box on too, so we'll just wait a couple minutes. Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at. Feeling nervous. These lives always make me a little nervous, but I really love talking with all of you. Let me know if you can hear me as you get on. I'm excited. It's Samhain for my fellow witches or pagans, and happy Halloween to everybody else. We're going to be making some caramel apples today. Good morning, Antonio. While you're all joining, let me know where you're calling in from. That's so old school. Let me know where you all are at. I'm super curious. I know we have people from all over the place, so I'm curious, where are you at currently in the world? You don't have to give the exact location, but just country and stuff like that. Super curious. But this morning we're going to be making some caramel apples while we do some Q&A. I thought that would be fun. It seems like, it's a perfect fall recipe, and I'm going to show you how to do like a healthy one. I know a lot of you have asked me about recipes. So yeah, I thought this would be a great way to start. So it also give us something to do. Tampa Bay, Seattle, what's up? I was literally just in Seattle. I am currently in Ashland, Oregon. I drove down here. Oh, Vancouver! Another Washington, because it was just so rainy, and I have to say, rain in van life it can be nice, but it's really difficult when you want to work out or take care of your body, because we don't exactly have a van made for a workout area. It's very difficult. Oh, Tina, you're in Eugene. What's up? So good to see you all. Wow, we got a lot of Pacific Northwest people today. Interesting. Curious if you all are getting the rain too. Like, it was so rainy. Like yesterday we had this crazy thunderstorm, and it was pretty cool. But I think I'm going to start heading down to California pretty soon, because I just want to get outside, and it's just like really not ideal for van life, like I said. But yeah, so great to have you all here as we cook up some stuff in the kitchen for today. Any questions that you have about van life, about whatever else, let me know. Hey, Jen, upstate New York, what's up? That's where B is from. He is from Kingston, New York. So he's now he's a West Coaster, that's for sure. He's definitely a West Coast man now, but I see his East Coast come out when he's driving all the way. Tia, we're taking fun to the Builder Day. Yes! That's so exciting. So excited for you. Do you know how long your build's going to take? I know it's like, that is such a wait to get into a builder anymore. I know that, ours took 9 months. We did ourselves, but I know for other people, some of those builders can go pretty fast, but I know it depends on what you're doing, until mid-February. Okay. That's great though. That'll be like, you'll have the holidays, and then like February comes, you're going to be like, yes! I'm curious where you're going, like where are your first stops as you're going to, on your travels. We have 2 left thumbs. Yeah, like I'm curious, let me know, where you're going for your travels. Like, I'd love to hear. And if anybody has any plans that is already in a van for the winter, let B and I know. We have a couple ideas, but we're not really 100% on that. As you can see, B is not here. For those of you that, one, you might just be popping in because you saw there was a live video. Yeah, he's not here, sadly. You'll hear more about that later, but he is back on tour, so a little bit of a bummer. Belknap, is that Belknap Hot Springs? Oh, Netherlands, what's up? I know there's like so many hot springs in Oregon. We lived in Bend for a while, but we didn't get around to all of them, and maybe we will eventually eventually in these travels. Yes. Okay, cool. That's where I thought. Have you ever been to Brighton-Bush? I want to like put this on the map for everybody because I have not heard of any van life people talk about it. But Brighton-Bush Hot Springs, a lot of it burned down in some fires. I think it was like 2 years ago, but they're rebuilding it right now. And Brighton-Bush is probably one of the most healing spaces that I have been yet. Yeah, Tina, you gotta go. And they have yurts. They have amazing, it's all vegetarian food, but you can easily eat vegan. Most of the stuff is vegan actually, but it's really good. They do serve quite a bit of tofu, but a lot of vegetables too and stuff like that. But real chill place. If you stay overnight, all your food is included, which is amazing. And it's only like 100, and I think they raise the prices due to the fires and stuff, like maybe 150 a night, but like all your food is included. And then you get to go to all these hot springs and they're all outside, and it's clothing optional when you're in the tubs. Very chill space. I've been to some hot springs. People are partying a lot. I mean, if that's your thing, what's up, whatever. But if you want to go to like a real chill place, that's a great place to go. Did we stay in the van there? We have not stayed in the van there yet. So I went to an herbal conference. Gosh, what was that like? Oh gosh, that must have been, like 2-3 years ago. And we were in the middle, I think, of building the van, and we like stayed, I think I stayed one night like away from it, but then I stayed in they have like glamping tents and stuff. So super cool little place. And especially with like food, you don't have to worry about food. So if you want to go glamping, but not bring like a whole thing, and just cause maybe you have like a minivan and you just don't have like, you just like can't bring your own food or cook or whatever, like it's a super chill spot to go. So any other questions that you all have about van life? I don't know, anything personal, I'm totally open to answering. Unless it's something that I really don't want to answer, I won't. But let's get started. As you ask questions, I'm going to make some caramel apples. Some of you asked about this, so we're going to be making raw vegan caramel apples. This is how I like to do it. One, it's a lot easier, and two, it's we're going to be using dates, so they're full of minerals and fiber. So also for those that are worried about blood sugar levels, like these tend to be a little bit better because they are like in whole form. So I actually prefer dates rather than coconut sugar, maple syrup or honey or anything like that, because it does have fiber, so it slow the sugar into the bloodstream, so it won't be like this, like, that sugar rush that you get. So it tends to be a little bit more, little chill, if you know what I mean. It's a little early morning still. So I soaked some dates overnight. I think I soaked like 8 of them. We're going to see how much it makes. I'm not quite sure yet. I did forget one step ahead of time that I was going to do for all of you, but so I just need to de-seed them, I think, right now. So I'm going to take out the seeds. But let me know what questions you have about van life, what you got going on, what are all of you planning for Halloween. I'm curious what everybody is doing. I feel like it mainly happened over the last couple days. Everybody got their partying out. I know that I saw a ton of people yesterday, like all dressed up and going like out in the town, like full on masks and stuff like that. So I'm just throwing these, I soak these dates in water overnight, and they're just Medjool dates. I think these work better than, I think they're called the Naglets. I forget what they're called because I always get these ones. But I just soaked them overnight, and I'm just taking out the seeds for this and putting them into a food processor. This is going to get a little bit messy, but hopefully it'll taste good. I haven't made this recipe in so long, so I thought this would be a good excuse to do it. So just taking them all out. This is like one of those recipes where you can mess up on it, and it doesn't really matter because it just really goes by taste. That's what I like about raw food, is it's so much easier to mess up and fix than if you do like baked goods, which I cannot do baked goods. We also don't have an oven, so I mean that's kind of out the window for van life anyways. So just, they're all like all the stuff gets on your hands for this one, but it's all good. So I got all those babies in there. See if there's any questions. No questions at all, anybody? Super curious. Just make sure I didn't miss anything. If you're just getting on, I'd love to hear where you're calling in from. Very curious where all of you are at. So we put our dates up in this, up in our food processor, and then we're just going to use a little bit of vanilla extract. I don't measure really anything, which makes it hard if I write recipes for all of you, which I've been trying to do for the blog. But I just kind of, just put a little in there and see what happens. And then, let's see, I think I'm just going to put just a hint of salt. Just a pinch. You really don't need a lot. I kind of like, salted caramel. Like, I love salted caramel things, but caramel isn't vegan. They do have vegan caramel that's really good. I think they're by Cocoa Mel's, but salted caramel used to be one of my favorite things. I was like a huge sugar addict when I was little, and I mean, like, when you're talking sugar addiction, like, huge. Like, I would save candy, like, I would hoard candy, and then that's all I would eat. Like, I would just hoard candy. It was very, I've had an interesting relationship with food my whole life, I'll put it that way. Oh, and then let's put some cinnamon in here. I think cinnamon would be good. You can really put, like, whatever you want. You could put some nutmeg and stuff, too. But I think I'm going to do just a little bit of cinnamon in this. Cinnamon's one of my favorite things. It also helps balance blood sugar, so I like to use it, like, in everything. So just gonna, there we go. Sorry, we had a little pop up there. So hopefully this isn't too loud and annoying. If anything, just like close your ears real quick. We're just gonna blend this real fast to see how, to get all this blended up so we can finally make a paste. This is not gonna make so much a sauce as it is gonna make a paste. And I want to mention too, like, if you can't get dates wherever you're at, because I know a lot of people here are from like all over the world that are on our channel, you can use apricots too. So I've used like Turkish apricots and things like that. Am I saying that right? I haven't said that word in so long out loud. But you could really use different dried fruit for this, like even a mix of apricots and apricots, that's how you say it. Apricots and dates. You could really do a mix of them. Just make sure to soak them. That way they get soft enough to actually blend. I think I saw a little pop-up from all of you. I'm trying to figure out how to get the chat. I know I saw it. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Where do you get your spice stars? They look like a nice size. Yeah, they're like a really good size. I really like these ones. We just got them off of Amazon. After this video is done, I'll go through and put in the description. I'll put exact link for them, but we got 2 different sizes. I'll just show you real quick. So we measured these out. I think we have 36 spice jars in here. So we got 2 different sizes. We have these little ones for the front because I wanted to make the most use of the space, which you really have to do when you live in a tiny home. And then we have these larger sizes, which I'm not quite sure. I feel like they're somewhere around 6 to 8 ounces. These little bad boys, gosh, I don't know, maybe like 2 ounces. I'm not quite sure, but they hold everything. Like, this was probably one of the best ideas we've had because Brian and I are huge on herbs and spices, and we keep keep all our actual like herbs and tinctures and things up here. But when it comes to more of the ones that we use on top of smoothies and like what we cook with, like, this is so easy and nice and fast, and you don't have to worry about it breaking, which is like so nice in a van. I'm from Quebec. Oh, what's up from Quebec? That's so great. But I don't speak English, but I understand when you talk. That is absolutely amazing. There's so many people in the world that cannot do that. I think it's amazing. Anybody who can speak or listen and be able to like understand what people are saying in a different language is absolutely amazing. That is incredible. I also eat date and I don't like sugar, so I'm very curious for your caramel. Yeah, but same. Like, I try to do my best to stay away from processed sugar and things like that. Sometimes, if you go to like a Thai food restaurant or something like that, it's like there's generally some sugar in there. But yeah, try to get it all in whole form, so to speak. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and blend this. So all it is right now is just dates that we've soaked overnight, and some cinnamon and a pinch of salt. So this might be a little loud. I don't know how it is going to be over there, so you can like close your ears in case it's kind of annoying. But you know what? I'm just going to put a little bit of water in. Usually it's like about, you know, you kind of just do it until, we're just going to start slow on this. So we do not want this to get watery. So that's the last thing you want to do. You just want to add, I just saved the date water and I'm just adding a little bit at a time. And kind of push it back down every so often. Oh yeah, I should have soaked more. I think that might have maybe done a little bit better. Let's try it again. I'm sure this sound is annoying. Like, the sound is annoying for me. Like, it's like the most high pitched. I really prefer the large food processors and to make a larger amount, but this is what we have in the van. That's one thing I really miss is our large food processor. Like, I really do miss that a lot. Okay. Okay. It's looking pretty good. So I'm just going to show you kind of what it looks like right now. Like, you could totally, I might just use it like this. It's just like this little, it's just paste. It tastes like caramel. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And just that hint of salt is like, oh my gosh, so amazing. Yeah. I'm just going to process it a couple more times. It looks like there's just a couple chunks, which honestly it doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to try like one more time. I feel like I could have put more dates, and I think that's the issue with this, but whatever. It is the way it is. So I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, there's a couple thick chunks, but honestly, I don't care. But here's the thing. If you're going to put it in food processor, I put 8 in here because I couldn't really remember the recipe. I'm just kind of going with the flow on it. I would probably double, and I would have soaked like 16 dates because it would have made it a lot easier to, there's a piece of hair. So it would have made it a lot easier to blend. But as you can see, it's just like this beautiful paste. Now what you can do from this is let it set in the fridge. It'll kind of harden up, so to speak, because this is pretty soft, for about like 2 to 3 hours. So just like let it set for 2 to 3 hours. And it'll get like a little, like I said, it'll set. You know what I mean? If you work in the kitchen a lot and look at recipes, you know what I mean. I saw a couple. Charlie Grace, what's up? Hello, hello. Love having you all here. It's so good. I love doing lives because it's just, I like to be able to talk with all of you. Link to the food processor too. Yes, totally. Does it have grater attachments? No, it does not have grater attachments. I got this, I think, I'll find an equivalent one, but you can usually look at Costco, especially during this time. Sometimes they'll have like a big food processor and this small food processor next to it. And these things are only like 30 bucks. It's a Cuisinart Mini Prep Plus is what it is. And honestly, it's like so great. This is how I make our salad dressings, unless I want to whisk it. This is how I make stuff like this, like anything pasty, or if I make my own hummus. Like this little bad boy works great in terms of van life or tiny living. By the way, if you want a grater for van life, just get one of these. Like, you could probably get it at the dollar store for grating beets. Tina, just get a grater. Like, that's what I did, because I am so picky about the vegetables that we have, like how they're cut. It's just like a weird thing, but just get a grater and you can grate your carrots. I mean, you could do cucumbers and stuff like this. This is what I did. You can also get like one of those really tiny spiralizers too if you wanted to make noodles. But combined, that's probably going to be like $35 to get both of those. So pretty economical too. Good morning, Tommy. I was wondering when you were going to show up. What's up? Cool, cool, cool. The sound is not bad. Okay, thank you, Antonio. I just didn't want to hear all your earbuds, like especially early in the morning after Halloween weekend. I know sometimes people go out the night before and stuff like that. and all this stuff is good. One thing about van life, yeah, for sure. Like, that's the one thing, like, kitchen, I would like a bigger kitchen to do like herbal stuff, but it's kind of like trading adventure for some of those things, you know? It'd be fun to do a gourmet van life kitchen edition. Oh, yeah. So I'll let you all know now. It seems like a good time. We are going to start a health and wellness series for the van coming up. It's something we're passionate about, and a lot of you have asked about, just about herbal remedies and stuff. So I'm actually filming the first video I think tomorrow. I think it's on my schedule to go over the herbal coffee for all of you. So that'll be up in the next week or two for that. And then the next question, what do you do in the van with bad weather? Excuse me. That's a great question. Leave the area. So that's sometimes, like, if we know it's going to keep going and the weather is just consistently going to be like really rainy out. I do love some rainy days because Brian, Brian, now that he's back at work, he's working quite a bit on the laptop, and sometimes it gives us time to catch up on things that we just need to get done. So it can be a great way to do that. We'll also do laundry. So we tend to do laundry, go get pedicures. Brian loves a good pedicure too. And we'll go to hot springs even if it's raining, or we'll try to find a like a spa that does cold plunges, saunas, steam rooms, and things like that. Brian and I are huge. Actually, where I stayed last night had one of those, like, it's kind of like I call it like a circuit that you do, like a really healing space, hot springs area, or, you know, it could be called a spa, whatever it is. But that's generally what we do, and we catch up on work, and I also really like to read. But if it's going to be like that, like right now, it's supposed to be raining on and off for the next week, which I'm not super psyched on because it does make it harder to work out. And I felt like we're getting into this really good routine of working out, and I really want to keep doing that just for my health. And so I'm gonna move south. You know, it's that time of year. You can see like the migration of van lifers and camper van and RV people are all like migrating for sure. So yeah, just migrate, I think, would be one way to put it, or just get stuff done that we don't usually get done. Brian and I also love watching movies, so we're huge. We love watching movies and shows. Any recommendations, by the way, please put them in the comments below. We have a wide range of movies and television shows that we're interested in. Everything from like more like esoteric, spiritual stuff to more I don't know, I love murder mysteries. They're my favorite thing. If I wasn't gonna do what I do now, I'd probably want to be like Sherlock Holmes in a different life. I love murder mysteries so much. It's just a thing. Yeah. For best friend, it's a good idea. Yeah. What do you think about celery juice? Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah. I'm guessing that's from, if any of you are familiar with medical medium. I am a fan. So when I worked with clients, I no longer work with clients one-on-one. That's something that I did pause during this time. I saw some of my clients do really well on that. I base like what my thoughts are on it based on studies and just real experience. So I will say that too. Some of my clients did really well on it and noticed that they just felt overall energized and better. And these were people that already ate like a really, I would say like a really healthy, had a really healthy lifestyle. I don't like the word diet at all. But then I've had clients also do it and really just not really feel the difference or see any in after they did testing, anything like that. So for me, it's not something, I think I did it for like, gosh, that was like quite a few years ago, like 4 years ago. I did it for a short period of time. It wasn't something that I found to be the most effective of everything I've done. But I did like it. I mean, like I had celery, like if we go out and get juice, we don't have a juicer anymore in the van. I do always add celery. to the juices, but I don't drink it by itself anymore. Like, because now that we don't have a juicer, we were juicing all the time at our house. Like, I would have like so many different juices per day for every single kind of thing that we needed to get in. But now that we don't do that, and we also don't have a lot of room in the fridge, like I tend to pack in more into a juice now. I hope that answers your question. Kind of many different thoughts on celery juice. But overall, I don't think there's really any harm from it. I've never, and if anything, there can only be really good effects. I've never seen anybody have a bad time with it. But you never know. Come down to Tennessee. We're harboring here until we have a hard frost. I was just looking at homesteads in Tennessee. I have this thing that I do at night. I like to look at homesteads and off-grid homes. I was looking at Tennessee. Don't be surprised if I take you up on that offer. I am curious about Tennessee. There's a couple states we did not spend enough time in, and Tennessee is one of them. North Carolina would like to go back to. Upper Michigan. I really want to go back to Upper Michigan. But yeah, there's just a bunch of different states, but Tennessee is definitely one of them. Your kids are on their way over. See you later. It was so great to have you. So great to have you. Did I miss it? No, I'm still making it. So let's get back to that. So any other questions, keep going. We'll go to the next step. So we have our paste. We have our beautiful date paste here. Just made from dates, some cinnamon, and a tiny amount of the date water, and a little bit of salt. Super easy, pasty. It doesn't exactly look fancy, but all we're gonna do now is, let's see. So we have our apples. I'm gonna do, aw, thank you, that's so sweet. For sharing, thank you so much. Is we need to get whatever, I don't actually know what these are called. I picked these up at Michael's. Lollipop sticks. These aren't sharp, which we're going to see how this goes, jamming these into, I don't have a super specific way, I'm sure a chef could call it something a little bit more fancy, but I'm just going to jam these babies into these green apples. They're not sharp though. I think you could probably get a little bit more thicker, but I couldn't find them. But yeah, these lollipop sticks, they're a little flimsy. I wouldn't get the lollipop sticks. Try to get some better like wood ones. But for the purposes of this, I wanted to just show you. And it was like $2, to get like a bunch of these lollipop sticks. But look for like more wooden ones. I'm sure if you just Googled, you could find something. But obviously take off that little, I just cut off the little top of the apple. And then in the bottom, I find that it's a little bit easier to, like I said, just jam it through. So I'm going to just take this. I hope you can see it, and I'm going to do it down here since I think it'll be easier. Let's go. Come on. Yeah. Well, I don't know about this. I wish I could have found the real ones. This is what happens when you try to do a live. There we go. Yes. I did it. Check that out. So like I said, a little flimsier than I would like with the lollipop sticks, but find some wood sticks and you'll be fine. I mean, these work in a pinch. It's not a big deal. So we have our apple. So I find that it's easier to put this in ahead of time because these are messy. It's not like caramel that's going to harden a lot. It's just different when you do it with like do it raw this way. So what we're going to do is just take some of the paste, and preferably we'll have let this sit for 2 to 3 hours to, like I said, harden up a little bit. It won't get super hard, just so you know, but it will make it a little bit easier. And then all you're going to do is spread it on your apple. That's all you got to do. So I'm just using a little spatula, and you can put on as little or as much as you want. And like I said, these are great because you can almost guarantee that most people will be able to eat these. So if you're having like friends over and they're like someone like me who's like has like a list of things they preferably really don't want to eat because like they get, for whatever reason, for their health, allergies, you might have kids at home and they just can't have certain things, but you don't want them to miss out, Like, I think it's so important that when you're working on your health, that you're also not developing like an eating disorder, like that you're not becoming like, like obsessive about like, I can't eat anything, I can't do anything, and then you feel bad, and then you just feel like you can't take part in life. I don't know if anybody's ever felt like that before, but when I was like really deep in my health stuff, it helped me to get in the kitchen and learn how to make food that was taste really, really good, and that was also good for me. Like, that was super helpful. That way I could have a healthier relationship with food and enjoy myself, because food is such a big part of life. I don't think anybody should ever feel that they can't have food they like, that they're just like, ugh, like I'm just gonna eat some crappy salad or something like that, you know? Like, that's just not a good feeling for anybody. It's just so important to, yeah, like, food is celebration, it's connection. I think food is also fun, like, to make stuff together. Like, I think this is like a fun one, because, you know, like carving pumpkins this time of year, like, that's fun. It's like a way to like connect with other people. Food is just such a great connector. So as you can see, it's just messy. It's just a messy little thing. This, it did not blend. Yours will blend better. I'm going to put a recipe. I would have doubled this recipe because I didn't put enough dates to make it so it was easily blendable, if that makes sense. So, whoop, yeah. So just put on as much as little as you want. The other thing you can do too, like if you're like me, I don't know if it's laziness or not, but I just use it as a dip. Like, I'll make something like this for B and I might add more, I'll sometimes add peanut butter or cashew butter or almond butter or sunflower butter. There's so many different kind of nut and seed butters you can use. Sunflower seed butter, by the way, if you haven't had it, it's so good, as long as you add like dates to it. It's a little bitter if you're not used to that. But that can be really good, and you can blend it in, and then you have this like nutty, caramely deliciousness. So as you can see, we have our beautiful caramel apple. Of course, it does not look like the caramel that's like butter, and I think there's cream in like regular caramel or whatever. This one's healthy. And then we have, I just crushed some pecans myself. I couldn't find any. So I just crushed up some pecans. So what you can do here is you can add some spices to this. This is pretty fun. You can add chai spice seasoning. Like, you can make chai caramel apples. Like, that's amazing. Or you can add a pinch of nutmeg like in this, or this is where you can add like a little bit more salt and have salted caramel pecan apples. Like, so amazing. So anyways, you can let this set for a little bit in the fridge and then dip it, or you can do it now. So I'm just going to kind of, excuse me, roll it a little bit. You don't want to cough, especially if you're making food for other people on your food. So just kind of roll it around. Like, I crushed these myself this morning really fast, so you should probably get finer ones. But I'm also I'm gonna put some actually on the plate. I think this might be easier. And this lollipop bottom, not my best choice. I definitely should have got more like a wooden one. Let's get it all. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so good. I haven't had one of these in so long, everybody. So long. What's up? I see some other people popping in. I'll get to the questions here in just a few minutes. Not even a few minutes, in just a moment. Yeah, look at that. What's up? Look at that. Yeah, that is huge. That baby. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at those caramel apples. So good. So easy too. Obviously, we've been talking during this whole time, but when you make these, like, this is what, like maybe a 5 to 10 minute adventure in the kitchen, rather than like having to like boil anything or, you know, whatever. And it's like pretty inexpensive to do. Got some dates, you got some apples. You don't even need the nuts if you don't want to. You could use seeds and you're good to go. I kind of want to try a bite right now. Okay, I'm going to try it. Oh my God. That's what's up. Oh my God. It's so good. I think I did pretty good. So there's your caramel apple recipe. It's like literally such a fast recipe. So for those of you that are just joining, all it is dates, a little bit of vanilla extract, some salt, some cinnamon. You can throw in some nutmeg if you want, and just some nuts to roll it in. Super easy recipe. Oh man, those pecans, I'm having the best like flavor explosion right now. So good. I'm going through, want to make sure I did not miss anything. So we're at the beginning of our plan to build our own van to travel in Europe. What is the best tip for us to start with our build? Be realistic in how you live. That's what I would say. Brian and I were pretty, I'm an overthinker, I would say. Like, I really see through, like, to the end. Like, I'm good at envisioning things, and I think that's the one thing we did really good on our van, is don't do it to make it just pretty. It's important. Like, you have to really, I think it's important to really love visually your space. I'm a visual person myself, but I think it's really important to actually vision how you're going to live in the van. And build your van based on functionality, not just what's going to look really good. Now that we're in the van, like even for ours, like, I can see why a lot of people do like all white and like do certain things and have it really open. It looks beautiful on Instagram and stuff. And like Brian and I really thought about that ourselves, but, it just wasn't functional. We knew how we had to live. So if you're going to work in the van, make sure that you can work and you're not going to bump elbows, or that you're going to be hitting each other in the feet. Like, we literally drew out lines, got cardboard boxes and like pretended to sit on them, and then saw if we had enough space. I got pecans now in my throat. And then we pretended to do stuff like in the morning. We're like, okay, like what I know for sure I'm going to do in a van. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have my lemon water every morning. Where is my lemon squeezer going to go? Because like in a small space, you have to think about the tiniest stuff. Even if I get a gift and it's like this big, I'm like concerned, because that takes up like a lot of space, and you're like, where am I going to move it to? So I like thought like, okay, like, I would think about that. Like, if you're going to make coffee, where is coffee going to go in the morning that you're going to be able to access super easily, that it's not going to be something you're going to have to dig up all the time? And then think about like those things that like, you're like, okay, well, I definitely want to bring this, but I'm not, like, I don't think I'll use it that often. So I would just be really realistic and build your van for functionality first and come up with that layout. By the way, Brian and I just want to mention this, totally going to pop in this advertisement. Brian and we just finished our van layout. We have this amazing woman. She's working on it in SketchUp and doing renderings for all of you. So we have a full van layout guide that'll be ready by the end of this month. That is the goal. We wanted to have it ready for the holidays in case you also had anybody that you knew that, you know, is someone you love that's interested in van life and you wanted to gift them out something. And we do want to make it super affordable, kind of take out some of the pressures and mistakes that we did. But yeah, so we're going to have that coming out at the end of this month. And I'm so excited to share that with all of you. Yeah. Do we have kids and do they go to school? No, Carnegie, and so great to have you too. We do not have kids. We had a fur baby, Tommy, that passed away. He was staying with his godmama in Oregon, but he hated van life so much, and so he spent the last year with his godmama, whom he adored to the moon. So he had such a great place, and that was a really difficult thing. But he's passed. But we see fur babies in our future for sure. Lots of, like, if I could have all the fur babies in the world. Remember that viral video of the woman that's like, I just love cats? Yeah, that's 100% gonna be me. I love peanut butter, obviously, in moderation. I know, peanut butter is so addictive. It's so good. Hello, Van City. What's up, Kimberly? Said pecan. Yeah, I don't know. Pecan just sounded good to me. Hello from Oregon, Pacific Northwest, Mom. Oh, I love that. How long have you and B lived? How long do you and B live in the van during a year? We lived in it all year. We're coming up on it's been a year anniversary. We're gonna be putting out a video when Brian gets off of tour. That kind of goes over our full year. Just kind of, for us and for you, we're going to do a bunch of actually like a year of van life, things we've learned, our cost breakdown after a year. I think we're going to do, if that's interesting, let me know if there's a video that you think would be interesting after a year, like really helpful for you. Let us know, because I have some ideas, but I don't know if you'd actually want to watch them. But we were going to do a cost breakdown. We're going to do favorite campsites, I think, like free campsites and campgrounds that we really love. So we're going to kind of do like a little bit of an overview, but we lived in it for full year. That's bananas. I can't believe it's been a year. We're into like 43 states this year. That's incredible. Like, I just look back at that and I think it's been such a great experience, and I've really loved having it full time. I will say after a year, it's only when we're in the Pacific Northwest, I think, do we in the fall when it's raining, or in the spring when we do miss having a home. We had to go up there for dental work, and that was pretty difficult because it kind of makes you just miss being in one's like having a space where you don't have to think about solar, where you don't have to think about doing your toilet, where you don't have to think about certain things. But at the same time, like, I know after 2 weeks in a house, I'd want to hit the road. Like, I think I would say that for Brian too, that we're both the same in that, that we miss it. But yeah, it's been a year and it's been full time, and that's not stopping anytime soon. We do have a couple ideas for this upcoming year. I won't share yet, but so we'll see where that takes us. But I think it'll be pretty exciting. I'm so excited to have you all along on the ride with us. This is just so fun. The van is insulated for winter, or always quit the cold temperature for a hot temperature. It is insulated. So if you watch our van build mistakes video, watch that though if you're building out your van. We're also going to do, I think, another mistakes video after 1 year, if you would think that would be helpful, because we put out the van build mistakes, I think, 4 months after we were in the van, something like that. I can't really remember. But we made the mistake of not insulating the floor. Now, that was a suggestion given to us by a van builder. And I'm not going to name his name, but it was a terrible, terrible advice that we decided to take on. Full self-responsibility in that. Such a not a great choice by us. But honestly, it doesn't really bug me. Like, I think it bugs Brian, and so we're just going to get a rug. I mean, solve that problem. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal, because the heater, we have the Webasto heater, and I'll link everything that I'm talking about, the food processor, the Webasto heater, I'll put in after this video. Like, I'll get on and put in the description. The Webasto heater is absolutely amazing. It will warm this van within 5 minutes, even when it's like 20 degrees out. So when you're looking at such a small space, and everything else is insulated really well, and our Van May gear too, like, I absolutely love them. Like, I can talk to no end about the Van May gear window covers. They're absolutely incredible. So those work really well too, like really, really well. Like, I'm blown away by them. They were a bigger investment. If you can do it, get them. They're amazing. So I'll leave a link for that later too. But yeah, we could do winter. I'm not going to, because I'm going to be in the van a little bit more by myself. I don't want to get caught in a snowstorm or icy conditions, because it is our home. I'm more worried about black ice, I would say. That's like a real legit concern for me, is like, if we're in icy conditions and there's black ice, it's our whole entire house. Like, everything, I mean, we have like a small storage unit, but like pretty much everything that's really important to us, and it's just material possessions, but it's still, when you have things, like, they mean so much to you. So I don't like the idea of driving in those conditions. I know other people do, but doesn't really interest me, and I want to work out. So we're definitely going down south. I think we might do Mexico this winter, and then we have some other things in store. We're thinking about checking out van life in some different countries. I mean, with everything kind of going on in the world, I think we all know what I mean by that. It's kind of like, you know, a little nerve-wracking to think about shipping our vans, so we might not do that, but we might do other vans in different countries. That's kind of an idea that we have for right now. But yeah, I think we're definitely, I mean, I'm headed to California right now, and then I think Mexico. So we shall see how that goes. Cost breakdown would be awesome. Cool. That's really great to hear. I know we have our cost breakdown for the van and we have our monthly expenses video already, but things changed. I'm curious to see how much we actually spent this year and how much. I will say that we definitely save money not paying mortgage or rent. That has been absolutely incredible. It's afforded us a lot more room to, you know, just live for sure and like have that freedom. But there's definitely been some expenses for van life, so I'd love to share that with you because I think it's really helpful to be prepared so you know what to expect. Ground design, no, such a mistake not to insulate. Thanks for all your tip. We took your site for build plan. Oh yeah, and I think we're gonna do a giveaway too. When we put out the van layout, I really want to do a giveaway for all of you so we can gift for the holidays. I don't have a choice to insulate in Quebec. Minus 30 degrees Celsius is regular. Oh yeah, you gotta insulate like real tough. Yeah, blessed be to you in the cold right now. Canada would be cool. I know Canada, I think Canada's a little bit more strict right now, so we're just kind of waiting to, I don't know how close they are and all of those different things. So we're just putting together ideas right now. Definitely I'm not going to be going to Canada in the winter. I just know that because it's very cold up there. Or Central America. Oh, that would be so, yeah. We haven't got anywhere with the van. I just have to say I'm nervous. Like I've watched other van lifers when they go in the winter to places, but I think after this whole past year, seeing a lot of people have their vans stuck in different countries, made me a little nervous until I feel like a little bit more grounded in that. I feel like Mexico feels totally doable because it's so much easier to get back into the United States from there. But yeah, any suggestions you have about where to go or what videos, we would love them for the upcoming year. I'd love to hear what would be of helpful to you for the year ahead. Like anything that you're like, you know what, I've been wondering this, but nobody's making a video on it, or you haven't seen a good video on it. Please let us know. Antonio, is there Webasto gas or diesel, and where can I get one? Webasto is gas, so it's actually, I'm not going to say this right, but it's hooked into our gas line in some way. I don't think I can really tip this. I think it'll fall over. Our Webasto is like located down here under the passenger seat, and yeah, it's hooked up into our gas line. It doesn't really take much gas either. It's not like we wake up and we're like, oh my gosh, all our gas is gone. I know that they do have the diesel ones and stuff too. I really like our Webasto. You can get one on Amazon. I'll leave a link below for it. The install, I think, was actually, Brian was really nervous to do that install. He was like, anytime you cut anything into your van or do anything big, like windows, heater, like all that stuff's like a little nerve-wracking. I'm sure like those of you that are building a van, you're just like, yeah, he did a great job on it, but you can just buy it on Amazon, I'm pretty sure. I think we already have it in one of our like affiliate links for Amazon. Van is 4x4 or not. No, we do not have a 4x4. Dodge ProMasters are not 4x4. Oh gosh, I hope I get this right. It's front wheel drive, I believe. Brian's really so much better at specs and stuff than I am, but it is not 4x4. If you want a 4x4, the way to really go, I would say, would be to get a Sprinter, Mercedes Sprinter. They do are a bigger investment, and from what I hear right now, they're like a year waiting list. Brian and I, yes, it is front wheel drive. Thank you, Tommy. I think that, yeah, Mercedes is like, if anybody knows, I think they're like a year waiting list out Brian and I were kind of thinking about doing another van build, but there's a lot of stuff that's, I think with, you know, you really have to order ahead of time. A lot of shipments are late right now. I know cost has gone up since we've built. Yeah, and just availability of certain things, like the van itself, is a lot more difficult because I think this, just in the past year and a half, 2 years, this lifestyle has become so much more popular that it's a little bit more difficult, I think, to get certain things. I just want to pop that in there. So if you're thinking about doing a van, order ahead of time, especially with shipment stuff going on. Like, you don't want to have to be waiting. Brian and I feel like we did it like right at the time before, like, even wood went up. Like, I think it almost like quadrupled or something in price, like after kind of at the end of our build. We had already purchased everything, so I feel so thankful for that. But I think it's gone down now. I don't know. Some of you probably know that better than I do, but order ahead of time. And I think any of your big stuff that you're going to need, like especially like a toilet and fridge, Webasto heater, anything especially that's coming from overseas, be sure to, yeah, just order ahead of time. Give yourself ample room. Like, order as you get in money. Like Brian and I remember we just bought like so much stuff all at once. It was bananas. The garage was so full, like so full of stuff. Like, I just remember being like, oh my gosh, and a little bit scared. It was a huge investment, you know, just to be like, okay, I guess we're doing this. We had sold everything, you know, when we're totally houseless and homeless at the time, like, because we were just staying at my parents'. It was, yeah, I don't know why I'm going on a rant about all that, but it was huge. It was huge thing to do. Yeah. So if there's no more questions, oh, there's one. Were you nervous to sell your home and take on the van life? Yeah, we were renting at the time. And so this is, I think some of you might really relate to this, is you get the dream home. We found a home that we absolutely love. We're living in Bend, Oregon. Absolutely such a cool place. Great for van life, by the way. And we had this home that we had searched for, and we were just like, wow, this is so cool. We have I had like a great office. I had like a great herbal nook and all these different things. And, you know, and it was a great place to live, but we were ultimately not feeling happy about that. And so it was just one of those things where we started watching van life videos, like I'm sure all of you have been doing. And we're like, and we'd seen so many van lifers for a few years in the Bend, Oregon area, because I think it really, a lot of people are especially going down there before this was even big. I mean, on YouTube, like, it was still kind of a smaller sector of YouTube a few years ago. I think it really blew up in the past like couple years. But we had seen them for like that's like 5 years ago now. It's kind of bananas when I think about that. So we've been thinking about it. And Brian and I both do really well when we travel full time. Obviously, Brian, when he's working, he's traveling full time already. I had already lived in a bread truck before with activists. I used to go around the United States and talk about animals and just our food systems and things. And I used to talk, just like talk to kids in college and whatnot. But so we had both kind of known what it was like, and we are both so restless. Like, I feel best in my creative self. Like, I'm full Sagittarius, for those that are into those sort of things. I am full-blown Sagittarius. I am fire. I love change. I love just like creativity and go, go, go. So it was an easy decision to say, yes, we're going to do it. I think what was most difficult, Brian was like, how are we going to do that? Like, how are we going to actually make this happen? We need a garage. Where are we going to build it? It's going to be very costly. Like, how, like the word just how. And I was like, well, let's just make the decision and we'll figure out how along the way. And I think that's actually one of the pieces of advice that I would give anybody. Like, the how will come if you decide you're going to do it. Even if it takes 5 years, 10 years, or whatever it is, just decide you're going to do it and you'll figure it out. I think the hardest part was seeing our car go. I know, it was weird, but we had this Jeep that I really, really loved because it had gone on so many different adventures. And it was also really nice. It was one of the first grown-up things that Brian and I did as a couple together, is buy this car, and it was really nice. And when we saw that go, like even just thinking about it now, like that was like, whoa, we only have the van. Like this is all we have. So when we saw everything go, Brian and I didn't have a lot of stuff. Like we're not people that ever bought like just stuff like trinkets and things like that. We just spent a lot of money on food. Still do. But it was, yeah, I saw the cargo, and like when we moved into my parents', I think the process of building the van, to be really honest with all of you, was really difficult. It wasn't the van itself that was difficult. I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, it was, yeah. Because we didn't know what we were doing. We had no idea. Like, we had never built anything. But electrical, plumbing, for one, I didn't help with either of those because no. But it was a lot, but I think just being like not having our own home, our own space, yeah, like the whole thing was a bit difficult. But once we got in the van, it was the best. It was the best feeling that I imagine it's like, even too, if you build your own home, and you've been living in like maybe a tiny apartment that wasn't for you, or you finally moved into somewhere you did, whatever it is. For us, like I felt like my whole body just settled in. Like I had gotten adrenal fatigue and depressed and anxiety and all these things while we were building the van. And when we were done, like I felt like my whole being just aligned back into itself, if that makes sense. And once we were going, I was like, yes, I was so psyched. I don't think I'd ever, and we took naps. We hadn't taken naps in months. And so, yeah, it was just this like overwhelming excitement. So I know that's a really long answer to a question because I can be a little bit wordy, but yeah, it was difficult and easy because I knew that it was going to be the right thing in that way. Like I just knew we were going to have a good time together. So I think that's all you can really do is like focus on what you really want. And it's going to be, some things are probably going to be hard to sell or to get rid of or to gift, whatever you're going to do. But ultimately it's about the kind of life you want to live. Like no material possession can ever give you the happiness of leading the kind of life that you want. And that same thing is true in a van. A van is not going to necessarily give you everything you want. You really have to choose how to live in this lifestyle. And I think Brian and I can still get like a little like crunchy about it. And then we're like, no, we're doing this for like adventure, to like really see clearly of what's important in life and to have fun. And like that has to be a choice every single day. So there's my like soapbox on that one. But if there is no more questions, thank you all for joining. If you want us to do more Q&As, let me know. I think we'll probably do one like every quarter. Next time, Brian, I'm sure, is going to join me, which will be like a few months from now if he's home. Anyways, look out for more. There's going to be a whole lot of, I think, solo female van life videos coming up. I'm really trying to learn how to edit videos. Like that is not my strong point. Brian is far away and he can't like edit from far away with his thing. So I'm gonna do my best for all of you. But yeah, look out for more solo van life videos if there's anything you're curious about. Just so you know, for those that are female bodied, I'm gonna be doing one on definitely periods, having your period in the van, and then I'll be doing herbal coffee, and then I have a couple more ideas, but if you have any in particular that you're curious about, please let me know. I'd love to have you join me on the road. It feels really good having you here, by the way. Like being on the road alone, it's just like knowing that all of you like are with me, it's a huge it feels like safety. Like I feel so much safer just knowing all of you are there. It's so nice. So thank you all so much for supporting us, for supporting our channel. Let us know how we can support you if there's any specific videos. Yeah, and if you're not subscribed, please do so now. Look out for the van layout video. I feel like there was something I wanted to tell you too. Oh, we have I totally forgot about this. I don't know how I did. We have another video coming out on Tuesday, and it's going to be with Brian. It's on how we're getting the van ready for winter, how we did, but that's not what it's going to be called. How we got the van ready for winter. We did do a couple things. This goes along kind of with the insulation. Very important thing to do that we're going to be sharing about that made a huge difference. So our pipes did not freeze. That is something you have to think about. They're in the van. Like you have to think about that. So we made a couple changes in the van. game changer. So that'll be out on Tuesday, and then after that, solo stuff. Blessings, everybody. Blessed Samhain to those of you celebrating Samhain, and happy Halloween to the rest of you. Or for those that are not celebrating either, enjoy your Sunday. Blessed be, and just have a really nourishing day. Yeah. Bye, everybody. Let's see if I can figure out how to turn